I'm a huge lover of football. And this is an opportunity that comes around once in a lifetime. So you are, I'm hugely excited to be part with Todd and Badad of the adventure, and really the challenge of ensuring that one of the great clubs in the world maximises its potential. And that's what we're here to do. We're here to ensure that Chelsea maximises its potential. It continues the great winning tradition that the previous ownership instilled in it over the previous 20 years, and we're working hard every day to try and achieve that.
I know that you certainly created waves by the change in management right at the top with the manager. Was that a good idea?
Well, obviously it's a decision that we made as a group that we felt was in the best long-term interest of the club.
Yo people, welcome back to the YouTube channel. You already know what time it is. It's time for your Chelsea versus Wolves preview, your pothead potball preview. But before we get into the tactical board and whatnot, listen, I'm just here to say I'm buzzing. I'm really enjoying watching Chelsea once again. After that fantastic, bombastic, emphatic, massive win against AC Milan, now we move to Wolves. Wondrous Wolves who are in the relegation zone, and we must dispatch of them swiftly like an Amazon package. Like I said, standard delivery next day. Yeah, it needs to be done. But also it seems like Christopher Vlas is coming in from RB Leipzig as well as technical director. He's obviously come through the Red Bull model. We know Todd Bowie is a massive fan. He's come from Salzburg and before that Hoffenheim, and he's responsible for the signings of Soboslas, the signings of Werner returning to the club, Angelino as well, just joined after Nkunku, but also David Ram as well from Hoffenheim as well, Andre Silva. So quite a few names on his roster, and obviously at Salzburg, that was a brilliant era for them, bringing in Hairline and all these players. So he's clearly got an eye for talent, and a lot of his players, did really well, obviously in that win against Celtic in midweek. So really looking forward to hopefully him joining and it all being done and dusted so he can go into that technical role. And like I said, it's something that we've been pursuing for ages to get somebody from this model. And you can see why. There's a lot of talent that comes from it. And we're literally chasing two of the players. Gavadal, another player he's responsible for signing from Dinamo Zagreb only a couple of years ago. So we're trying to bring a lot of their players in. We may as well get the brains behind the absolute bonkers moves that we're trying to make. So let's get into the preview though. Chelsea versus Wolves, big game, completely different game to the game that we faced in midweek in terms of the opposition and the way they're going to obviously potentially approach this. Now, Bruno Lage has obviously been sacked, so they're now without a manager. Lopetegui seems like he could be the next manager at Wolves, but he's not going to be there in place for this match. Of course, he's just left Sevilla, and there's been a lot of rumours circulating that he could be the next Wolves manager. But we don't have to deal with him. Always tactical now because he's not going to be here for this. And we have to just focus on playing a team that have no manager and potentially will want to respond to the situation that they're in, which is the relegation zone, and try and create a shock factor. And that's what we've got to be wary of. Now, for me personally, going into this game, obviously Potter's already spoken in terms of his pre-match press conference, spoken about Kante still not really being available as well, unfortunately. But Wolves also have their own injury issues with Pedro Neto being out, and also Jimenez is obviously still out as well, and Hee Chung-young, who also was a part of this technical director's roster in terms of bringing them in through Leipzig. He doesn't seem like he's going to be available either. He's got doubts around his name. So for us, we've got to take advantage of the fact that there's some key players missing. Obviously, their midfield is really, for me, their epicenter of their team. Yes, they lost last weekend. We saw even Ruben Neves playing at centre-back. But this game calls for something completely different. We expect in this game more so probably to dominate the ball. Although, like I said, they do have some very good technical midfielders. They've got Matinho, they've got Ruben Neves, they've got Matheus Nunes as well, who they brought in from Sporting. So it's not like as if they're just a team to just be completely undermining, that they don't have any quality. It's just that in the final third, when it comes to finishing, they have massively struggled. And that's due to having a lot of injuries over the last couple of years, being very unlucky with the situation that happened with Jimenez. And obviously they've had to bring in Diego Costa, who will be returning to the bridge. Diego Costa will be joining us, and hopefully, much like Tomori and Giroud, hopefully not the best of performances or a little bit of an error in there as well from him. Wouldn't mind a little cheeky own goal if you don't mind. We're playing a lot of our former players right now. We don't want to see vengeance in your heart, and I don't think he has it in him. I think he loves us, but let me not jinx that. Touch wood. Okay, so, but he didn't start in the last game. Obviously, he came off the bench and he had his impact, but like I said, didn't get the goal, and he is 34, obviously coming towards the end of his career. Hopefully, we should be able to handle it. Now, for me personally, I said it on All You Can Eat Chelsea, I feel like this is a good opportunity to rest Thiago Silva. We don't get many opportunities. I'm not saying that this game we should be taking lightly, and as Potter said, we focus on the next game. We're not trying to even think about Milan in the next midweek, but we do have to take care of this footballer a lot better than we do, and this for me presents the perfect chance because Wolves don't play the three at the back anymore, guys. You know, we're used to it from Wolves. Obviously, Brighton do it. We have done it, but Wolves don't play the three at the back anymore. They play that 4-3-3, hence why Conor Cody was maybe shipped out on loan to Everton because, you know, that's the formation that he's used to playing. They don't need maybe as many centre-backs as they once did. They've been playing, for the majority of the time, apart from last weekend a little bit, a 4-3-3. And that, like I said, gets you your Nunes, gets you your Neves, gets your Moutinho into that midfield as a free. And then Traore is now back in this team, who was on loan at Barcelona for the back end of last season. And we were linked to him as well, even last summer, for a right wing-back spot. He's started to come back into the team now. Prudence looks and is a talented player, but lacks the output and efficiency that you need in a front three. So there are some danger men, as I've mentioned. There are some quality players. We may not dominate possession as much as I expect because those midfielders are technical. But we must win this game, guys. And there's guys, we must win. Do you know what I'm saying? As Arteta would say, we have to win, guys. And as simple as that. So the team I'm going with is going to come up on the screen now, and then we'll put Wolves' expected team as well. For me, I think Kepa deserves to stay in goal. I think he's been really, really good in the last couple of games, really assured, confident. He had to make a big save in midweek. Obviously, maybe it took a little deflection from Chilwell. But listen, he had to make that save. It was a big save. Yes, it was close proximity and it was straight at him, but it had to be done. So I think he deserves to keep his place, and Mendy has to fight to get back in that team. And obviously from a ball playing ability standpoint as well, I think Kepa sometimes is a bit overrated in that regard. I think his passing still needs to improve just as much as Mendy's does, but no individual errors at the moment leading to goals or opportunities. So that's the most important thing. In the back four, I think we should go back to a back four, and I'm going to tell you why. Obviously, like I said, just the one up top for Wolves in that front line in the 4-3-3 that they play. I don't feel like we need a multitude extra of centre-backs. And also because I'm resting Silva, I feel like it's a good opportunity for Koulibaly to play in that back line and lead and command and show that he's the man after Silva from a ball playing aspect, but also from a leadership aspect. Now, the caveat that I'm putting on this is that if we're not comfortable, we can switch. Because Cucurella, for me, will come back and should come back into this team. He's now fully recovered from the illness. I would go with Cucurella, Koulibaly, Trevor. And that's your three. Or your four with Reece James going into right back. So you have the option to go from a back three to a four. That's what Cucurella gives you, slotting in at left side centre back. If you want to and be more confident and push more people forward, you can go to that four. If they're not looking to come out, they're not looking to force the ascendancy, they're not looking to joust. And I'm more than happy for us to go back and forth with Wolves because I want more space at Stamford Bridge. I want us to have more space in between the lines, in behind for Aubameyang, for us to start, you know, creating more opportunities. I think this team, and some of you have said it in the comments, is quite suited to counter-attacking football with the players that we've signed over the last couple of years from the Bundesliga, more suited to more space. That's why we performed on the bigger pitches, in the away games, big teams, combat, Champions League. So if Wolves do want to have a bit of the ball, guys, let's give it to them. Like, let's do that 50-50% possession like we did in midweek. Give Moutinho, obviously we need to close these guys down. They have a great long shot, set pieces, Ruben Neves as well. Don't give away stupid fouls. But have that back and forth. Let's do that. So yeah, but like I said, you have the option to be flexible here with Reece James going back or Cucurella. But in my head, at the moment, I'm thinking four, just so we can overload the midfield and try and win that midfield battle, which is key. And that's why I'm going with Jorginho, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Mason Mount and Kai Havertz as like your midfield four. Obviously Kai Havertz at the top of that with Mount, Ruben Loftus-Cheek and Jorginho in that midfield three. And that's also to give Kovacic a rest because we need to be very careful that he doesn't get another injury as well. He's played a couple of games back to back. And I don't think he's been at the high level as of yet. And we probably need him for AC Milan, where again, it's going to be a lot more back and forth than this Wolves game. the game against Wolves at home is a smaller pitch, home game. Obviously, you know, we're away from home at San Siro, probably going to need some legs. Kovacic will probably have to play that. For me, Jorginho, come back in here, and next to Loftus-Cheek. Loftus-Cheek was so disciplined in midweek. He stuck to his task. Hopefully he does that again, but we win that midfield battle with those 4 versus the 3 of Wolves, and we try and win that. And obviously, Sterling, for me, has to play. I want him back on that left-hand side. It's why that if Cucurella moves into that left side centre-back position, you have Sterling as that left winger, James as that right winger, and they push really high up the pitch. James, as far up the pitch as he can get, he'll obviously help get back, but this guy's output is ridiculous from a crossing and shooting standpoint. And Sterling on that left, I feel like if Mason is playing behind him, or Loftus-Cheek in that left side 8 or right side 8, doesn't really matter too much what side they are. I do like Mason on that right hand side, to be honest, closer to James, and I feel like he's pretty good in the right half space. But Loftus-Cheek on the left as well, he's played there. And like I said, he was really good in midweek. But I feel like with that outlet, Sterling on the left wing, just somebody actually there. Wasn't really there midweek because obviously Chilwell's more of a defender, but obviously he's going to get forward. But someone with good 1v1 ability who can take people on, isolate the fullback. Hopefully that creates more space inside. And like I said, Aubameyang up top, he's scoring goals. 2-2, fantastic. Link-up plays really surpassed my expectations as well. Didn't see that coming. So really, really happy for him to keep playing. And like I said, we didn't really use Ziyech. We didn't really use Pulisic. They didn't come off the bench. Gallagher is at the moment really being used well as an impact sub. He can come on again depending on the situation. Amanda Broya, young. And Fofana's obviously out injured. So, you know, there's nothing we can do there, lads. But no Fofana, no Kante. And Chukwuemeka, I'm not sure. It keeps saying on apps that he's a doubt or this or that, so I'm not really sure what his situation is. But if he can make the bench and potentially come on for his debut, that would be wonderful if the game is looking good. My prediction is 2-0. Let me know your team in the comments down below and your prediction. The Wolves expected lineup is also up on your screen as well. Like I said, I spoke about that midfield 3. The forward line as well. Prudence and Traore out wide. Got to look out for them. They're quite direct, quite skillful. But like I said, the output and end product from those two in terms of finishing and even sometimes just in general is not as strong as it needs to be, and hence why they are where they are. And they're missing the Pedro Netos and the Jimenez quite badly. And obviously, like I said, they play that traditional back 4 now a lot more often, and Kilman is obviously the leader in that. So yeah, that's the teams. That's my team. Let me know your team. Big up your damn selves. And let's win! Let's do this! Come on, guys. Yes!